welcome back to the channel. This is Mr. Play Color right here. I'm really excited about this brand new episode. Stream, actually, yeah, broadcast. So today is the 3rd of November. It's a brand new day, it's a brand new month. There's a lot for us to do, there's a lot for us to learn. And yeah, God has given us yet another opportunity for us to, have a conversation, have an interaction together. I would first of all like to apologize. I've had a little bit of a delay to start this broadcast. I just had a really small glitch, yeah, but thankfully we are here, we are live, and you're welcome to join in. Yes, I hope that our friends will be able to join us today because I had to share a new link for this broadcast. Yeah, I can see someone has joined us. You're welcome. Please, I encourage you to leave a message. If you join the chat, please send your message. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you're feeling and where you're watching from, so that I can, at least give you a mention or a shout out. Yeah, otherwise, it's amazing to be back here. So I think I'm going to give it 1 or 2 minutes, and then we dive straight into the topic and then open the floor for a discussion. Right. Yeah, in the meantime, I just want to let you guys know that I have so many other videos, maybe not so many, but I've done a number of videos on some of these issues that we might be talking about here and there. And I encourage you guys, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. If this is your first time to join this channel or to watch me on this channel, yeah, you're welcome to subscribe. Please check out the other content that I've created. Check out the other videos. They have a lot of helpful and insightful information. Yeah, and I've also done some tutorials that can help you, better your game in this industry, in this career, in this hobby. It's a bit different for everyone. Okay, so I think we can now officially get started. Yeah, so other people will join us. Again, feel free to leave a comment. I see Mr. Charity Uganda. Ivan Sebuliba, you're most welcome. Thank you for tuning in. It's amazing. I'm glad to have you here. It's really lovely. Thank you for tuning in. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, today the topic is basically all you need to know about cheap, or let's say affordable camera equipment. Yeah, so today I just want us to have a conversation on camera equipment, how to actually buy camera equipment. I want us to talk about how to spot which equipment to buy, and maybe for some of you who are just getting started in this industry, you probably asking yourself some questions on which camera gear should you actually buy, which cameras should you buy, which lenses should you buy. Yeah, time and time again, we find ourselves in a situation where if you need, let's say, to buy lenses or gear, any other gear or cameras, you ask yourself these kind of questions, and this is the video, or this is the broadcast that is going to actually help you maybe, mitigate some of those challenges and struggles. Yeah, so where do we start? Okay, yes, you're welcome, Ivan. Right, so I'll start by mentioning that in the modern day, we have so many cameras that are very, very capable to give you amazing work, amazing results, decent results on a low budget. Yeah. And let's face it, here in Uganda, so many photographers, so many content creators do not have a lot of money. That's the truth. I live here in Kampala, Uganda, and this is where I create most of my work. I do photography, but let's be honest, most of us, when you're starting out, you usually do not have that much of a budget. So it means you're always working um, on the lowest possible. So, and this is why we have these kind of conversations, and this is exactly why I thought it nice to start these kind of conversations, so that we can help each other, we can sharpen each other, and get some of this key information right, right away. So if you find yourself with a budget, let us say of 1 million, 1 million Ugandan shillings. By the way, for our friends who are watching from other parts of the world, yes, normally when I'm talking about these prices, I am basing them with Ugandan shillings, but I'll try to make some maybe dollar conversions so that we can all follow through, so that no one is left behind. Yeah, so if you find yourself in a situation, you have just 1 million shillings and you want to get yourself a camera, yeah, there's a few options, or there's a number of options that we can actually talk about. Yeah, for example, it reminds me when I was starting out. I've been doing this photography thing for quite some time. I would say about close to 10 years. However, not commercially. Yeah, if I may explain to you a little bit. So commercially, I started this photography like 3 years ago. I think during the first lockdown, 2020. That's when I decided to go out and say, okay, look, I am going to start my company and I'm going to do photography. But before that, I was doing photography more at a freelance basis, casual basis, because I went to art school about 10 years ago, 2013, yeah, and I started to learn art. Yeah, so that's why I say about 10 years, but commercially 3 years right now. I think we are going to the 4th year. Yeah, so but in all this journey, I've had experiences with different cameras and all. So yeah, let's talk about cameras that you can actually get for 1 million shillings. So for 1 million shillings, you can get yourself used DSLR cameras, yeah, and most likely these cameras are going to be cropped sensor cameras, or APS-C sensors. If you don't know the difference between APS-C sensors and full-frame sensors, maybe you need to watch another video that talks about that. But basically, full-frame sensors by most photographers are considered the more professional grade kind of cameras, full-frame cameras, or the full-frame sensors. Why? Because they tend to perform a lot better than their cropped counterparts. So think of it as having a small gun versus a big gun. Yeah, it doesn't mean that a big gun, rather the small gun cannot shoot. They all can shoot, but maybe the big gun will do a better job. That's the simple analogy that I can give you. Yeah, so if you find yourself on a low budget, like 1 million shillings, these are some of the cameras that I think you can get for 1 million or even under that. But keep in mind, these are going to be used cameras. So in the Canon lineup, we have, for example, the EOS 2000D. We have, there's what we call the Rebel series. The Rebel series, Canon created these cameras mostly for what they call the consumer market, like general public, so that people could have photos with their families, with their pets, and things like that. So they created these cameras to cater for that kind of audience or that kind of market. But again, it doesn't mean that you cannot use these cropped cameras, these let's say the Rebel series, for professional grade work. Yes, you can. I only mentioned that they have their own limitations. So if you do not mind about these kind of limitations, then there's nothing to worry about. You can go ahead and get yourself these cameras. So you can get yourself a T6i, can get yourself a T3, T3i, T6i, T7i, T5i, or T5. They have T5 just plain and T5i. Yeah, most of these cameras on the local market here, you get them for under 1 million shillings. Again, mark my words, used. They will be used. You're not going to get yourself this camera brand new. That is going to be, it's going to be hard for you to get this camera brand new. You will most likely get it used. Okay, so all the T series, like in the Canon lineup, the T5s, the T6, the T7, there's SL2, all these are Rebel cameras. Any camera, if you walk into a camera shop and you see a Rebel, any Rebel camera you see that is used, most likely it will be, I'm not saying that you're sure going to get it for 1 million or less. It will depend also on the condition. Sometimes you go to a vendor and they'll sell it to you maybe slightly higher than that, but it's in very good condition. So I feel like these are some of the things. Okay, maybe before I get into that, I would also like to mention some other, if you're shooting, let's say, from the Nikon brand or the Nikon, depending where you live and how they call it. So the Nikon, you have the D3 500, you have the Nikon D3 400, yeah, or 3400. You have the Nikon D3300, and you guys, I need to also mention that these the way these camera brands, I think I've mentioned this in one of my videos. Most of these camera brands, what they do, if for example you do not understand how they name, okay, how their naming system in their line of cameras. Usually cameras with more digits are the low end cameras. Yeah, let me say that again. Usually cameras with more digits, yeah, in terms of the number, the lower the grade. Let me give an example. In the Canon lineup, you have, let's say, um, you have the EOS 2000D. Okay, so if you don't know this trick, you might think because it's 2000D, then it has a higher number, yeah, but yet that is not the case. And then you'll also have, let's say, the Canon 5D. So when you see 5D and 2000D, you're thinking, or the 4000D, you're thinking the 4000 should be better, but that's not how it works. So there are those 4-digit numbers like the 4000D, and then there's the 3-digit number like the 350D, okay, and then you have like the 70D, and then you have the 7D. You understand? So the lower the number, the better the camera, ideally. Or you could think of it in this way. If you are the first in the class, you are number one. If you are 100 in the class, if it's a scale of 1 to 100, if you are number one, you are the first. If you are the last, you are 100. Does that make sense? So this is how these camera brands are built. And in fact, let's take an example of the Canon still. You will forgive me, I'm a Canon fanboy. But it's ideally the same case even for other brands like Sony and Nikon. So like the R3, I think currently it's top of the line in the Canon hybrid cameras. The Canon R3, I wish I could actually display these cameras for you, but most of you know them actually. So the R3 is ideally on top of the line for, I don't know if the R1 has not come out yet, it's not been yet released, but the R1 technically would be the better camera, yeah. And also I need to mention that these cameras have versions. Let's say, for example, the R6. The R6 Canon EOS R6. It has the original version, the R6, and then it has the R6 Mark II. The Mark II means it's simply better than the previous version. The Mark II usually has more features. It usually has some advanced features or things which are slightly better than the previous. Yeah. So usually I recommend that if you're going to buy any camera, take your time to understand. The pros and cons. There's so many YouTube tutorials that are made to talk about these cameras and all their capabilities and all what they do. Take your time, find these videos, learn about a camera before you buy it. The last thing you want is to right, I see someone else on the chat. Please mention your name and where you're watching from. It would be nice to know. Right. So these cameras, usually you want to find out and know. Yeah, you want to be sure before you spend your money. It's very important for you to know. Yeah, so we have I'll talk about the locations where we can actually buy these cameras. For me, I'm based here in Kampala, in Uganda, and tell you what, we have so many camera vendors. Yeah, those who sell new and used. Yeah, there's many shops now, like on Wilson Road. Yeah, in Kampala, on Wilson Road, just behind Pioneer Mall, currently the new Pioneer Mall. You find so many shops there selling cameras. Most of those shops actually sell used gear, so you can get yourself some of these really sweet deals. Yeah, if you're looking for a camera under 1 million, you can get it. Maybe just to mention, at 1 million, you're likely going to get yourself a camera with a simple lens. It could be a kit lens or some old lens. In most cases, you cannot trust that lens. When you buy an old camera that comes with a lens, in most cases, you cannot trust. Yeah, you cannot trust that lens. Yeah, you cannot trust that lens because those lenses have fought battles. Yeah, have fought so many battles. They've gone through this and that, and you're not really going to be thrilled with the images because you'll be so lucky and fortunate to get yourself a used but very good lens. Yeah. So for me, in most cases, I would recommend you save some extra money so you can invest in a new. You can get yourself a new budget lens like the 50mm. Yeah, that is one of the best lenses you can ever buy. I've time and time again talked about the 50mm. I've talked about how wonderful and amazing that lens is, guys. Yeah, so I think that one is very important, that you get yourself an extra lens like a 50. As you grow your income, you can always upgrade. You can always get newer and much better and bigger cameras and lenses. Yeah. So the other thing that you need to look out for. All right. Yeah, the other thing that you need to look out for is the lights. Yeah. So when you're starting out on a low budget, many photographers currently, you can actually go ahead and buy these. There are these speed lights that use just one battery, and I would say like the Godox V860 Mark II. There's the V850. These are very nice compact flashes. I have one with me. Just give me a moment. Let me get it here. All right, I'm back. Sorry guys, I'm back. So this right here is the V8 V860 Mark II. the label is around here. It's just that you can no longer see it because it has faded. But this is such an amazing flash. It's compact, it's lightweight, and it's quite powerful. Yeah, it uses a lithium battery. Yeah, it uses a lithium battery, rechargeable battery. This battery will last you, it depends anyway on how much power you're using, but this battery is quite strong. It will last you around let me say 8 hours if you're shooting constantly. Yeah, it will last you 8 hours, but let's just say on average it can shoot an entire day. If you're shooting like portraits, wedding, this flash can get through the whole day, just one battery. And usually I recommend, if you get yourself some money, you can get 2 of these batteries and you won't worry about charging within the day and all that. You just get this and you're good to go. So this will cost you about 750,000 Ugandan shillings. Yeah, that is about under $200. Think about $200 US dollars. Yeah. So again, I recommend this flash. Now there are those flashes which do not use this lithium battery. There are those that just use these alkaline batteries, that, what are they called, like double A batteries. Guys, those I don't recommend, as much as they are cheaper when you're buying, but I don't recommend those flashes. Why? Because in the long run you spend more. If you have to keep buying new batteries every time you have an event, you keep buying batteries, you end up spending more in the long run. Yeah. But okay, there are also those that you can buy rechargeable double A batteries. Yes, but then the issue also, they die so quick, they become weak. Yeah, much quicker. So this would be the best investment, because the other speedlight, you're going to buy it for about maybe 450,000. This one is 750. Yeah, it's maybe 40% more, but in the long run this is a much better option. You will be so happy you did this. And by the way, also this particular speedlight can trigger other speedlights. Yeah, it can trigger other speedlights, it can trigger strobes. So ideally it's a trigger in itself. You would have to learn how to set it up, change the mode. It usually has the green and then also the orange mode. Yeah, you guys can see it has green and orange. So if it's in the orange mode, it's a slave. It means it can be triggered by another device or a remote trigger. If it's in green, then it's in like master mode, so it can actually be able to trigger other flashes. Yeah, I won't dwell so much on this, but I recommend this flash V860 Mark II, and it works for all different cameras. You just have to let your vendor know that you want one for Canon, because they are tailored specific to brands. There's one for Sony, there's one for Canon, there's one for Nikon, there's one for Fuji, I think. Yeah, and they will usually have a small word here like C for Canon, N for Nikon, S for Sony, and so on. Yeah. So guys, I don't know if anyone has a question. I don't know if anyone has a question as yet. Again, if you're just joining us, the topic is basically how to, how to know which gear to buy. We are talking about cheap gear, cheap cameras. Which cameras can you go for? You guys, I also need to remind you, if you are a vlogger, or if you are into, you know pest kind of work, your kind of camera is really different. Yeah, you need to get those action small cameras. In fact, recently I was recommending one of my friends uh, to get himself a pocket, these DJI Osmo pocket cameras. Why? Because the kind of content he does is also a YouTuber. The kind of content he does is always moving on traveling, and I thought, uh, I don't see so much dynamism in his shots, that like he needs to get so many lenses. So I thought, why can't he just buy like a small compact action camera, like those DJI, either a GoPro or the Osmo, those action, like, yeah. um, yeah, so that's what I was thinking, and I advised him. I hope that one day he's going to consider that. Yeah, because those will really save you a lot of, of time and space. Yeah, you just grab it and go start shooting if you're doing like videos and things like that. But if you're a photographer, you do birthdays, you do showers, you do things like that, portraits, then you need to get yourself this DSLR. Now, there's some of our friends who actually have some bit of money, and you're struggling to find which camera to buy, but yet you have money. Yeah. I would recommend, and I think if you've been following some of the older videos, I talk about the mirrorless cameras. Guys, the mirrorless cameras are the in thing. Yeah. If you do not have a mirrorless camera in this day and age, you should be working towards getting one, because those are like right now just the best cameras you can use. And of course they are hybrid for video and for photos. The specs are incredible. Yeah, I happen to use the EOS R8. I've made some reviews about it, and it's amazing. Yeah, its focusing system is amazing, guys. It's amazing. So with just 5 million Ugandan shillings right now, you can get yourself the EOS R. Yeah. Yeah, you can get yourself the EOS R. You can get yourself, I think you can get the RP. Yeah, the RP is the smaller version of the R. Yeah, it's the smaller version. The only downside to the RP, it's the battery size. It uses small batteries, just like the R8 uses small batteries. The LPE17, those batteries run out a bit quick. But well, I have a simple solution for that. I just decided to buy more batteries so that I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, maybe the downside to those batteries, especially if you buy the third-party batteries, then you're going to find yourself in a situation of they just black out. They don't warn. Even if it's halfway, you won't know, because it keeps the buzz at full the whole time. You can't know. Yeah, you just can't know that it's full or what. Yeah. But again, the mirrorless at 5 million, I repeat, you get the EOS RP. You can get yourself the EOS R. The EOS R is the first Canon mirrorless camera that was made. It's an amazing camera. However, it also has its, But it's an amazing camera, honestly. I would rather get the R than buying a 5D Mark 4. Yeah, I would rather get the R than the 5D Mark 4, to be honest, or the 6D Mark 2. But just to mention, guys, the 6D Mark 2 is one of the most loved cameras around here in Kampala. Over who hasn't bought the 6D Mark 2 and the 6D, the original 6D? Those are cameras that are buzzing everywhere. Okay, maybe like right now, because many photographers are embracing the mirrorless cameras, so many are buying the R6. Though the R6 is a bit expensive, if you're starting out and you don't have that kind of money, don't even bother. Don't waste your time. Just go grab a 6D Mark II. That one is a tried and proven workhorse of a camera. If you get it, you can get it for about 4.5 million, just the body. It's brand new. But if you're buying it used, you can get it for 3.5 million. You can get it for 3 million if it's a really good deal. 3 million you can get it. Now some of you ask yourselves, this guy keeps mentioning you can get this. Where can we get these cameras? Please feel free to reach out. You can send me an email and then we can start a conversation there. Because for me, I'm in touch with some of these guys who sell. Because they are not sponsoring this video, I cannot mention names. Maybe they will sponsor one of the videos, and I can start to mention names. But you can reach me. You can inbox me. You can, and then I'll be able to share with you this kind of information. But you are able to get these cameras for these prices that I mentioned. Consider me also a consultant of some sort, because I can help you to at least find a good camera. I can help you to find a camera that you actually need. Sometimes there's someone who comes to you and they say, can you help me? Like, I need to get a camera. I'm strictly a photographer. I just need a camera that will do good photos, and that's all. And by the way, some of these cameras, if you are a hybrid shooter, if I mention the word hybrid shooter, I'm referring to people who do both photo and video. If you find yourself as a hybrid shooter, then there are certain cameras that you need to be looking for in specific. You need a camera that can do autofocus in video as well. For example, the 6D Mark II is a good option because it can do both photo and video. It has more focus points than the 6D Mark I, or what we call the 6D plane. The 6D plane, on the other hand, I wouldn't recommend it if you're into hybrid shooting, like you do both photo and video, because it doesn't have autofocus in video the same way the 5D Mark III doesn't have autofocus in video, and the other older 5Ds. Autofocus is such a big deal in the current world, because people are using gimbals. If you're using a gimbal, you're not going to be able to focus at the same time you're shooting with a gimbal. It's going to be a lot of work. So you need a camera that will do the focusing for you, and then for you just focus on composing and shooting and creating and so on. So 6D is strictly for photographers. Yes, it has video, but it doesn't have autofocus, which we have already mentioned. It's a big deal. So the 6D is out of the window. if you are a hybrid shooter like me. The 60D is out of the window. It doesn't have autofocus. There are so many small cameras which do not have autofocus in video mode, so you have to look out for that, guys. I don't have a whole list of them here, but you have to just look out for them. Also, just to conclude on that, if you're a hybrid shooter, then definitely you must get a camera that has both focus in video and photo. I haven't received any questions here yet. I think it's due to some people, I think, checked the old link and I was not connected on the old link. The old link got an issue, so I could not continue with it. I decided to start a new link. Unfortunately, I think many people are probably keep clicking on the old link and they are not finding anything. But at least I'm glad there's someone on here. Ivan, it's been great having you here today. Yeah, so you guys, the plan is to have these kinds of conversations every week, every Friday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. every week, every Friday. Hopefully we will manage to have this every week. Sometimes I have to work on like a Friday, but in situations where I'm not able, then I'll be communicating, or we'll have to push it to the next week. But that's at least the idea. And also my heart is really open to especially the photographers who are just starting. Feel free to reach me. You can send me an email, and we can start there. Or you can visit my social media handles: Instagram, Play Color Media. There's 2 accounts. There's also Mr. Play Color. You can check. You can send me a message on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Mr. Play Color. No, on Facebook, it's Play Color Media. And you can send me an email as well. I'll be waiting to hear from you. So, there's a lot of cheap gear on the market. You just need to understand what works best for you. There's someone who asked me about the 5D Mark III, my thoughts, and I remember, maybe also you guys can benefit from this. A 5D Mark III doesn't have autofocus in video, so if you are a hybrid shooter, which I've already explained, you do not want to get the 5D Mark III, because you won't get any focus during video. You will have to manually focus. But if you are strictly a photographer, just still photos, the 5D Mark III is a tried and proven camera. It's a strong, built like a tank, solid, powerful camera. It will give you amazing work. Of course, in the modern day, we are all about dynamic range. We are all about low light performance, the autofocus, like human detection and animal detection, eye autofocus. We are all about these things, so you will probably be missing out on those. I will say, if you buy an older camera, then you need to beef up your lighting, because most of these old cameras suffer lighting. That is their biggest disease. Low light performance, terrible. I have to be honest. I have to be honest with you. But again, it doesn't mean that you cannot have amazing work with these older cameras. Those older cameras can still give you amazing work. I think the other time I showed you guys this. This is an old camera. This is the 70D. Yeah, Canon 70D. This camera, unfortunately, doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it's my beloved old camera that died. Unfortunately, the motherboard, something happened with the motherboard, it died. But 70% of the work that I have, this camera has done all that work. All I had to do is give it good lighting. If you're in natural light, sometimes you need to use reflectors to bounce that light around and get yourself beautiful photos. Yeah, you just have to improvise for the most part. If you do not have big lights and what, that is no issue. You don't have to worry about all these big lights. You just need a small light and learn how to use it. I've done a video on how to get amazing outdoor photos with just one light. Yeah, this light here, just one light, and you get yourself wonderful photos. Yeah, on a budget. So I've also done a video on how you can use this kit lens. Yeah, kit lens to get background blur. Yeah, you know, it's very important that even if you don't have enough money, you know how to use the little you have. Usually when you're buying these small cameras, they will come with these kit lenses. This kit lens is versatile. It can zoom in, zoom out. It gives you from a wide to a medium kind of focal length. Yeah, so these are simple lenses that are good for versatile situations. You need a group photo, you can use it. You need a portrait of someone. But then there's also a trick on how you can achieve the best out of this lens. I've done a video on that. You guys can check it out in the videos and learn more about how you can use this kit lens to get, yeah, beautiful photos. Yeah, I have myself this this is a 85mm from Yongnu. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see whether it will be focused on. This is my go-to lens for portraits. Most of the time when I'm shooting portraits, whether okay, especially outdoor portraits, this is the lens I usually run to. Why? Because it's a prime lens, 85mm. It has a lower aperture, f1.8. So it means it's going to give me that nice creamy background, smooth and blurry kind of background that we all love. This is a relatively cheap lens. You can get it for 800,000 currently, brand new. Yeah, there's an outlet that, but I bought this lens about 2 years ago, I think, and I bought it 850,000. So it should be like 800 right now. It can't have stayed on the same price. Yeah, but if you want the Canon version, you pay a lot more, like 1.8 million Ugandan shillings. You pay a lot more for this. I've seen someone else join us. Please feel free to share with us your name and where you're watching from. Yeah, thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining this broadcast. Okay, so you guys, we are coming to the end of this broadcast. I've not responded to much because I've not really got questions from you guys today, but I just thought to share my heart regarding uh, some of these cheap cameras that you can get yourself. I think I'm going to leave a list of these cameras in the description so that you guys can see, you can have an idea of all these cameras that you can get yourself for 1 million Ugandan shillings or less. Yeah, yeah. Remember, you can only get better at your craft by practicing, by engaging with other photographers. um, yeah, by practicing. I think that is the thing. Practice, they say, makes perfect, but you may not really get perfect, let's be honest, but you'll get better, definitely better. So I think I can say practice makes better. Yes, practice makes better, definitely. So yeah, um, thank you so much for being with me today, for being on this broadcast. Again, if you have any questions, they are always welcome. Please leave them in the comment section. Again, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I've done a number of videos and some tutorials that can help you improve your game, improve your skill, and maybe generally have more information about the tools that we use, the gear. Yeah, so feel free to check them out and learn a thing or two. Also, if you need help on buying gear, if you need help on which gear to buy, please feel free to send me an email and we can start the conversation there. Yeah, it would be my joy to assist you in that area as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us today on this broadcast. I'll be seeing you guys next Friday. Yeah, I am really, really, really sorry that the link that I had shared first got an issue, and so I had to just use a different link. And I think that's why today we've not had so much interaction. But hopefully next time better. Yeah, why am I talking so much? Yeah, so you guys, I'll see you next time. Keep creating, and God bless you.